Hello and welcome to Let's Get Growing. It's Swann here, the Horticultural Manager from Bulwell Forest Garden in Nottingham. And here we are at the end of July and it's all happening. So the squash are all developing. You can see here we've got beans growing, runner beans growing, French dwarf, French beans growing. And it's a busy time of year for harvesting. And we've also got an event on today. So if you can hear some noise in the background, that's people enjoying themselves. So let's get busy, let's get cracking and let's move on to your packs. And so this time we've got a sweet basil plant, we've got a parsley, so you might have moss curled, you might have flat leaved, and we've also got a little tray of lettuces. So I'm going to start with the parsley, and as ever we're going to have a look in the little pots. We're going to tip it and see if it needs repotting. Yeah, it does. It's totally filled its pot, there's no loose earth. So I'm going to get a bigger pot. I'll half fill it with my peat-free compost, tease out my roots, plant in the middle, compost around the sides, press it down, and I'll put the label back in. And I'm going to do exactly the same with my sweet basil. And yeah, that needs potting on too. It's not as desperate as the parsley was, but it will respond well to going in a bigger pot. So it's the same process, half fill the pot. I didn't bother teasing that out, it didn't really need it. And then the other thing I'm going to do with both of these, I think, to get them to bush out. So with my sweet basil, I'm just going to pinch out the very growing tip. So that's these two tiny leaves there. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that it bushes out. And what I'm going to do with the parsley is just take off maybe one of the leaves just to encourage some new growth on there. And then finally, what I've decided to do with my lettuce is just put, there's 4 plants and I'm just going to put them in a big pot. Well, a medium-sized pot. They haven't got very deep roots. So I'm going to empty them out. I've filled my pot up. Squeeze them out. I'm just going to dib 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in the top of there. That's 1. And just bob them in. I think these are salad bowl, so they're cut and come again. So we can grow them in here, cut them when they're ready, and then if we keep watering them, we'll get another crop from them. So that's it, easy. And next, excitingly, we're going to move on to have a look at how our potatoes in the pot have done. Okay, so this is our pot of Charlotte potatoes. We put 3 seed potatoes in here in April. So we're going to try and harvest them now. Now, I haven't got massively high hopes for a high yield this year because it's been so dry, but you never know. Let's see what we find. Oop. So these are a bit green, some of these, and that's because the lights got to them. They probably should have had a bit more compost, or if you're growing in the ground, soil on top of them. So they're not, there's a lot of small ones, which is kind of what's happening this year because it's been so dry. Possibly I could have left these a bit longer, but normally you're harvesting Charlottes by now. Pull that out. I mean, if you were growing them at home and you didn't have a massive garden to water, you probably would have been looking after these a bit more. So it would be, I think Georgia sent us a picture of her potato harvest. It would be quite nice to see what you've managed to grow at home. There's a few more in here. Oh, more. I think that's all of them. Not bad. But you see, if all of these had grown bigger, we would have had quite a decent harvest there. But yeah. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.